So you may have seen me on TikTok before stumbling upon this video. You may recognize this bag and this twine. It's time for me to show all of the books in one video that I got from the advent calendar that my husband made for me. My birthday is in December, so this was a very special gift to combine the holiday that we celebrate and my birthday. My husband made this advent calendar for me because I asked. It's my birthday in December, and for the holidays, he spent $170 from one Facebook Marketplace listing to get all of the books that I'm about to show you. Editing Anna here. Throughout this video, I will have some HarperCollins titles because, again, this is like 80 some books from a person on Facebook Marketplace that my husband got. HarperCollins Union is still striking, so just be aware of that. I want to make sure that we still support the authors and the editors and everyone who put their time in, but the union has asked us not to do reviews of those books, so I don't consider this to be a review of those books, just showing what I got. So just letting you know, you might see that pop up here and there. So support the union. We love that. Continue on with the video. And the first set of books that I'm going to show you went somewhat viral on TikTok. So we have the Rick Riordan universe set. He did not give this all at once, but there are books in here that, again, helped one of my TikTok videos do really well. So these 4 books were in one bag together. They're books 2 through 5 of the Percy Jackson series. And when I pulled these out, I was like, oh, I already have these. Well, it turns out these are the original covers. And as you can see, they're in very, very good condition. And a lot of people were like, those are the original covers, you know, thinking I should be more grateful for them. And I definitely am, especially considering the condition that each one of them is in. And then when I was clearing out my bookshelf after the book advent calendar, I actually saw that I had some of the original covers. I have the original covers 2, 3, 4, and I have the first original cover. This is my first original cover. As you can see, it's a little more beat up versus the quality that he got me. We now have the complete set with the original covers, which I'm super excited about, so I'm super grateful for these. In another bag, I got The Blood of Olympus, which is part of the Heroes of Olympus. I don't know what number it is, but it's in that series. I'm listening to the newest Olympian podcast, so I haven't read the Percy Jackson books or anything in the Rick Riordan universe. So we also have Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. Again, don't know where this falls in the Rick Riordan universe. I know I'll eventually get to it one day when the podcast gets to it. And then lastly, The Lost Hero, again from the Heroes of Olympus. So one day we'll get to it on the newest Olympian that I'm reading along with. So going along with the vein of books that I own with the Percy Jackson books, these are the books that he got me that I already own. The first is Pandemonium. However, this isn't the copy he got me. My Pandemonium was this hardcover, and the one that he got was paperback. My other 2 in the series are paperback, so I switched this out to have the paperback on my TBR shelf. The Selection, I read this in March of 2022, so I already have the entire box set for this. And then again, he got the last books in a series, and we're missing the first one. We have Glass Sword, King's Cage, and War Storm. And I am not the biggest fan of hardcovers, but these are really nice, especially because the King's Cage that I have in paperback is red. So I'm super happy to have these. Tempted to get Broken Throne and Red Queen in hardcover to complete this set, but I don't know, I already have it in paperback, so we'll see. Before we get into the rest of the standalones from the book advent calendar, I got What Big Teeth, and I've actually already read this. I rated it in a YouTube Shorts. I enjoyed this book. It was different than what I had read. So that makes me really excited that even though my husband didn't go into this with a lot of research, I think the seller that he bought from had great taste in books. So I'm excited to read a bunch of new books from the book advent calendar this year. So here are all the standalones from the book advent calendar that we're going to go through. We have Dead City. This one is one of the shorter ones, but I don't read a lot of shorter books, so I'm excited to have a variety. 100 Other Girls. I had this one actually on my physical wish list TBR, so I'm super excited that he managed to get this one. Sweet and Bitter Magic is one that I think the cover is beautiful and was also on my physical TBR wish list. So I'm really excited that he managed to get this. The nice thing about this book advent calendar is there's a lot of authors I don't know and a lot of titles I don't know, such as here with We the Fire. And I love the cover. I think this looks super cool on the outside. I actually brought this with me to Texas because I thought I might add it to my January TBR, but I'm still excited to get to this, hopefully this year. We have Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. Again, my husband's not on BookTube, BookTok, Book Twitter, Bookstagram, anything like that, but he somehow managed to get an ARC copy of Far From Normal. So that'll be an interesting read. Crimson Bound, I love the cover, and this was one I got in Texas that I also was debating putting on my January TBR. And Enchantment of Ravens, Damsel, Twisted. I thought this one was interesting because I used to be a history teacher before I started working from home. But we have Making Bombs for Hitler, Hunted, and Weregirl. So one thing, again, that my husband unknowingly did is he got 4 indie books from the book advent calendar, which I wanted to read more indie authors this year. So I'm excited to already have a batch ready to go. We have Dragon Trials by Ava Richardson. We have The Soul Summoner by Alicia Hyder. We have The Shadow Kingdom by CJ Inkson. And we have Rockabye Baby by L.R.W. Lee. Then we have a stack of completed series that we were able to get in the book advent calendar, which I thought was really exciting. We have all of the Haddock series here. We have Among the Hidden. We have Among the Imposters, Among the Betrayed, Among the Barons, Among the Brave, Among the Enemy, and Among the Free. We have the complete The 100th Queen series, of course starting with The 100th Queen. Then we have the Fire Queen, we have the Warrior Queen, and we have the Rogue Queen. We also have the completed Splinter series, except technically I think for like a novella or prequel, but I'm still counting it as a completed series because we have the full-length books. We have Splintered, Ensnared, we have Unhinged. We have this little duology here as well, which is going to be great for Duology December this year. We start the duology with Sword and Verse, and then ends with Dagger and Coin. This is our first stack of incomplete series / duologies. We have the second and third book of the Falling Kingdom series. The second book is called Rebel Spring, and the third is called Gathering Darkness. So probably will add the first to my physical wish list. And then there's 2 like this, where I'm definitely not the target demographic, but I also don't usually read short books, and my reading slump was through some of my younger years, so I definitely want to give some of these a try. But this is the Killer Species series that we have 4 books from. The first book is Menace from the Deep. The second book is Feeding Frenzy. The third book is Out for Blood. The fourth book is Ultimate Attack. Since we do have the first one of this series, I might wait to see if I want to put the others on my wish list, but I definitely want to give these a try, especially if I'm in a slump. I mean, they look so short, and I actually am kind of interested based off the titles. We have books 1 and 2 of the Ranger's Apprentice series. The first book is The Runes of Gorlin, and the second book is The Burning Bridge. So same deal. If we have the first book, I think I want to try part of the series before just putting it on my wish list. We have the last book in the Fifth Wave series, The Last Star. The Fifth Wave is a series that I'm interested in, so I definitely want to pick up the books before this last one. Again, I don't know how he managed this. He got Children of Virtue and Vengeance in a really nice hardback condition. And, you know, this was just a sign that I actually already went out and bought the first one, because this was one that was on my physical TBR. He managed to get the second. I had to get them, and they're a priority TBR read for me this year, which is going to be another video that I make. Again, I don't know how he's getting all these more recent books, but we have Chain of Gold, which is The Last Hours book 1. I do have up on my bookshelf up there a lot of Cassandra Clare books, and I don't know if I want to necessarily get into her this year. This is also somehow a collector's first edition. So how he got this in a bag, no idea, but he did such a good job. So this series definitely now holds a special place in my heart, and I really want to get and read all of these because this was the first one that I unboxed for the book advent calendar. So they're all from The Unwanteds, and we have books 2 through 5. Book 2 is The Island of Silence. Book 3 is The Island of Fire. Book 4 is The Island of Legends. And book 5 is The Island of Shipwrecks. On to stack number 2. So this is the last stack. Oh, it's tipping. Of incompleted series that we're gonna go through. We have The Wrath and the Dawn, which I definitely want to get the second book this year and read this for Duology December. We have Mortal Engines. It's interesting because no idea that this was a motion picture. We have The Dreamkeeper, which is part of the Dark Dreamer trilogy. We have 2 books from A Rebel of the Sands universe. We have Hero at the Fall, and we have Traitor to the Throne. We also have Thief of Lies, which is part of a The Library Jumpers universe. We have Fallen Kingdoms, which is part of a longer series, at least according to the back of this. We have The Edge of Everything, which is part of a duology. I thought the edging on this was really cool. This is my first book that has any type of edging like this. Again, how he managed it is beyond me. We have Fate of Flames, which is book 1 of Effigies, if I'm saying that right, Effigies series. And then I just thought this was funny. Again, they're shorter reads. I don't know if there's actually more than these in the series, but I'm calling it a series because this is, 3 2-minute mystery books. So we have 2-minute mysteries, we have more 2-minute mysteries, and then we have still more 2-minute mysteries. So I'm convinced they're a series. I hope there's more. If these are all, I think that's a shame. We also have Snow Like Ashes, which I think is just a duology, so just missing the second book. Again, I'm trying to do Duology December this year, and so I'm really excited to get some duologies put together from the book advent calendar. We have Tomb Quest. This is kind of interesting because there's like a game that you can play with this too, and I just wonder if the website still works. And then we have 4 spirit animal books, which somebody on my TikTok said that these were actually really good, so kind of debating getting all 13 of them. We have book 1 of Wild Born. We have book 2, which is Hunted. We have book 3, which is Blood Ties. And lastly, book 4, which is Fire and Ice. And again, I think there's like 2 separate series with a total of 13 books, so maybe after reading the first 4, I'll be interested in finding the rest of them. And then these 2 books, a TikToker made me aware that you should really check the trigger warnings because I thought the covers were really interesting, but I think there's some kind of hard scenes in these books, so that's definitely something I need to be wary when I start reading the book advent calendar books. The books also have deckled edges, which aren't my favorite, but we have Wicked Saints, and then the second book of the series also having deckled edges, Ruthless Gods. And then there are also just some random puzzle books, a Pokedex, that were thrown in to some of the days, because again, he got this as just a bundle and didn't really look through. So these, not on my TBR at all, but they're still a fun memory that I'll probably just hold on to them to remember. So those are all the books. Have you read any? Would you recommend that I prioritize any of these? I have a few that I'm already going to prioritize, but I would love to hear if anyone's heard of these, which cover was most interesting to you, anything like that. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll have a book advent calendar in 2023.